already with us and ready to go. My camera, as you know, sometimes freezes. I think it's already freezing. So please do bear with me, as you usually do, for this show this evening, which is going to be a really interesting conversation with Ambassador Oshun and our beloved Heraldess Adama. Oh my gosh, you're in for a treat today. All right, so as you come through the door, family, please do let us know that you're in the house. Give us a thumbs up and leave us a message. And you know the way that we do it, you can leave your comments, your questions, your suggestions in the comment box. Okay, let me just check with my guests if I'm coming through their end.
Yes.
Empress Oshun, am I coming through loud and clear your end? There might be a little delay on the line. Heraldess, am I coming through loud and clear your end?
I hear you well.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, I'm just going to grab the link and be posting it in the background. And in the meantime, can I ask Empress Oshun to kindly introduce yourself to the audience?
Certainly. Sharon Oshun Parris-Chambers, spiritual leader and global convener for the Temple of Inner Peace AI, Ancient Intelligence Council, and also ambassador for the State of the African Diaspora. But my key role here today will be on health and wellness.
Wonderful. Welcome. We welcome you. Empress Adama, it's an honor as well to have you in the house. Please kindly introduce yourself to the audience.
I am this point of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is here to remind us of the divinity that there is, that we each are. I'm voice on behalf of our liberation, voice on behalf of our resurrection. I am one who consistently addresses the issues of our liberation and the prerequisites for our being qualified for continuance in existence. I've been in Atlanta. I was born here, not raised here. I've been here since 1980. I am the CEO of Integrity Global Enterprises, which is a management company for Mother Earth's Blessings Holistic Life Center based here in Atlanta, where we specialize in providing the tools, spiritual, mental, emotional support for clearing, cleansing, consecrating, and renewing these bodies as the temples for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living God, Goddess, that is the truth of what is required for us to stand as liberated beings.
Powerful, family. From that introduction, you know that we are in for a very deeply insightful conversation today. And wow, I feel as though I'm going to be looking on my inside today. And I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Thank you for joining us. Looks like we've been joined by Katrina.
Katina.
Yeah, Katina. So, Katina, is she joining us to participate in the conversation?
And we have others who are joining.
They're listening, and I guess they may have some questions or concerns.
Okay.
You know, become our audience.
Okay.
Our audience.
Okay. So they've been given the backstage link. They should be listening.
Oh,
via
so
YouTube.
They should go to YouTube.
You know what? Yeah, if they go to the Sister Should Show YouTube, then they will have a proper link. All right. So let me send that to you, Heraldess, and then we can forward that to them.
Jessica, do you have that information? You should have it.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
everybody should be watching from YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's
We're asking the audience
Okay.
to open hearts, align themselves with higher frequency of rising, to engage with curiosity and reverence. They are going to learn a lot today, and we hope to have very interesting and insightful questions for Heraldess Adama.
Mhm.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, Empress Oshun, you have a beautiful way of opening, you know, events and meetings. I wonder if you could give us some opening remarks, some blessed greetings, you know, just welcome the beautiful divine souls that we've got that's going to be joining us today in conversation. Let's get a flavor of your beautiful Oshun spirit by way of opening, please.
Thank you for that lovely commentary. We join hearts and we join spirits. We invoke the higher consciousness as we take our breaths, this breath, the next breath, to receive information as ancient intelligence. We know where this information is coming from. And it's come directly from the source to Adama, who has lived this message most of her life, from the time she was 5 and consecrated herself to serve the Almighty, source of all creation. We are going to get a power-packed response from someone who truly lives for the sake of others, so that others may live and to come to know the true God. This is about truth, inner knowledge, inner awareness, and also aligning oneself with the kingdoms and queendoms of eternity. So we look forward to receive and keeping our hearts open, our minds open. You will hear things, ideas that you have never heard before. And we want you to come into alignment with it just by simply opening your heart. Ask your questions, and we will be honored. You will give us something as we give you this beautiful message from Heraldess Adama. She'll tell you a little bit about her background. If she tells you about her background, that's the whole show, because it is
We don't want to go there.
How she has been, how she lived and almost died 3-4 times, and is here to tell you that because of this pledge she made with the Almighty, she is now able to help you, each listener, to elevate themselves from just an ordinary existence to that spiritual existence. If you're a female, to the divine feminine existence as a goddess, and if you're a man, to the Godhead existence. So please sit back and begin to tune your heart and minds to this message you're about to receive.
Thank you so, so much. That was so beautiful, so calming as well for me, because for the last week, or strong, I feel weak actually. I normally say the strong rather than weak. What's been happening in Jamaica has just traumatized me so much. It's left me feeling so enraged inside. So I just feel that I need this calming, beautiful message that we're going to be getting today, and I'm sure my audience feel pretty much the same way. So I'd normally open very differently. I'd go straight in and I'd be talking about what's going on in Jamaica, and I'll be getting annoyed about it, and I'll be critical of the inaction and everything. But I'm going to park all of that to one side, because after that beautiful introduction, I just feel that I want to hear from our beautiful Heraldess Adama. Our topic today is our time is now to rise, and don't we need to rise in this moment? And so with the message that we're going to be getting from Heraldess Adama today, we're going to begin to think about our lineages, our awakening, our queendoms and kingdoms. And we're going to be thinking about how the life that we're living, whether we're living that life to honor the divine spirit within us or not, and maybe, get some guidance as to how to do that. And so it is with a joy that I welcome our esteemed guest today, Heraldess Adama Alaji, Heraldess of the Eternal, who speaks powerfully on resurrection, liberation, and the activation of our sacred life path. Heraldess Adama, thank you so, so much for taking the time, for your willingness to share with us this evening. I want to hand over to you and to present this room to you, this virtual room to you. May we all open our hearts, may our guests open their hearts, and my audience rather, open their hearts and align with your higher frequency that you're going to be enabling us to tap into today, because we want to engage curiously and find out, about this reverence that you're going to be sharing with us, that you want us all to be tapping into as well. So we're going to begin the dialogue. Family, get ready, get ready, get ready. Listen, feel the vibrations, feel the rising, feel the energy. Drop your comments in the comments box, and we'll be coming to you in about 30 minutes or so. So without further ado, let me hand over the floor to our special guest today, Heraldess Adama. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like for us to just take a breath, a deep breath. Oh, ever present, cosmic supreme being. Oh, absolute, absolute reality. You are all there is. Oh, absolute and supreme intelligence, so created that is everywhere. We're so grateful and so thankful for this now moment of eternity, that we have the opportunity to dwell in the conscious knowing that we each are these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of your own absolute and supreme presence. We're so grateful for the lineages through whom we've come. We know that our legacy has been wrought from years and years and generations of oppression, of disinterest, degradation, and we have been warred against, but we are so grateful that this now moment is filled with our opportunity to reclaim destiny, to align ourselves with that which is your will and your end game, that there is nothing guaranteed success upon this planet except for the fall of the wicked and the rise of the righteous and the reestablishment of the children of God that we each are. We're so grateful and we're so thankful that all of the challenges that we meet are just challenges for our remembering. And we're remembering how blessed we each are with each and every breath, how blessed we each are with each and every beat of our heart, how blessed we each are wherever we are. We are dwelling in the reality of your presence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. And we're being cleared and cleansed and purified from any thought of unworthiness and undeservedness, because we are already yours and you have given us everything, because you are the absolute truth of who we already are. And we give thanks for this opportunity to rise, on behalf of the establishment of thy eternal order, on behalf of the eternal government, and in harmony with the emergence of the queendoms and kingdoms of God as the right response to all of the warring that has been going on. And so I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for every heart, body, mind, and spirit on the planet, for all of our creatures, for Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and all of those who are sowing the seeds, who are reaping the harvest, who are making sure that we have access to everything we need, because there is nothing and no one who works except by virtue of the intelligence of existence. That is all there is. And we each are so blessed. So thank you for this moment. I am one to remind us that we are already in the realm of eternity. At times, because our feet are on the ground, we forget that we're spinning in space, and that the space that we're in is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. And ones talk about the universe and the universe, but in the context of all there is as cosmic, there are an infinitude of universes. And by virtue of our being maintained and sustained in this realm of eternity, we are not maintained and sustained by European people. They don't spin the earth. They don't blaze the sun, but that absolute and supreme intelligence that blazes the sun, that spins the earth, that is beating our heart and breathing us, I'm reminding us that our first love is that. Nobody can love us greater than that which is beating our hearts and breathing us. And we're looking all outside ourselves for all kinds of love, to the detriment and wasting time. Time is our commodity. We're wasting time not loving the Creator with our whole body, heart, mind, with all of our might. See, we always heard that we were supposed to love God with our whole body, heart, mind, with all of our might. So I'm the one to remind us that God is all there is existence itself. And it is that which is the substance of who we are. So why are we struggling? Why are we suffering? Why are we dying? Why is there heart disease and diabetes and obesity and all manners of things, when we were perfectly and divinely designed by this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beating our hearts and breathing us? Why is death multi-trillion-dollar business on a planet that is already spinning in eternity, that has billions of ones, and the majority of the people are of African heritage, origin, background, and concern? Why is it that we're in a place and space where we are impoverished when life is the greatest gift and everybody has it? Nobody is without it. But being under the influences of those who robbed the Pharaoh's tombs, being under the influences of those who feel as though they have the right to decide who lives and who dies, being under the influences of those who feel as though we as melanin-dominated people do not have any other purpose than being commodity and slave under a system of capitalism. We're in a place and space where we're having to break chains. Break the chains of the lies and the delusions. We are being called to rise. We're being called to remember. We're being called to reclaim our destiny. We are being called to clear and cleanse and consecrate our bodies from having been under the tools of oppression, which are the meat, the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, all manners of artificial colors, artificial flavors, and all of the things that are creating all of the disease. Now, because we're perfectly and divinely designed, we have to realize that all of the issues that we're dealing with, that in truth, there's been no progression, because we're dying in greater and greater numbers. We are influenced by a global initiative of depopulation and genocide. We're in a place and space where now is our time to flip the script. We're in a place and space where we have to respond correctly and directly as individuations of the presence of God. But the issue is, it's hard to really accept that that's who you are, because they taught us that we are not godly. They taught us we were born in sin. They taught us that Jesus was the only perfect one, and that we don't have to really worry about being perfect because there's no perfection. I'm saying no, we are perfectly and divinely designed as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, immortal points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. And our bodies were never designed to be contaminated with the rot of dead animals, the alcohol, the tobacco, the sugar. See, these are the things. See, these people, they realized what they were doing. They said they must sow the people in vice. And this came from a little passage in a book called The United States and the Jews. And it says, we must sow the people in vice so that they are no longer connected to their spiritual help. What is the vices? The gluttony, the envy, the jealousy, the violation of the blood, the contamination of the blood is the foundation of our oppression all over the world. And the blood is sacred because the spirit is charged upon the blood. We are perfectly and divinely designed, and by virtue of the perfect order of eternity in which we're in, made with trillions and trillions and trillions of atoms that don't really die, they just get charged. So I'm saying is that in this now moment of eternity, our duty, obligation, and responsibility is to remember who we are, whose we are, what we're made of. And that these bodies are our temples. These bodies are the temples for the dwelling of the true spirit of the living God. But we cannot be godly in degradation. We cannot be godly in alcoholism and drug addiction. We cannot be godly when we're dissipating our life force through all manners of things. We cannot be godly without having the virtues of character that are consistent with God. The forgiveness, the mercy, the compassion, the understanding, the care, the courage, the faith, the confidence, the remembering that we were told to love this absolute and supreme intelligence with our whole body, heart, mind, with all of our might. That's what we were told. Didn't you hear that? You're familiar with that, right, Shanice? Wherever you was born, right? You heard that, right? I'm just saying, I'm reminding, I'm not bringing anything new. I am just reminding us of what we've already been aware of, that godliness has to be facilitated through cleanliness. You say cleanliness is godliness.
Yes.
There is nothing clean about having the rot of dead animals in your body. There's nothing clean about alcohol and tobacco and all of the white sugar and white flour and paste and all of this stuff. When we were children, we would take flour to school, mix it with water, and it makes paste. So that's your pancakes, your waffles, your breads, your biscuits, your donuts, your croissants, your pastas, your pastries, your scones. You understand? This is not fruit and vegetation. This is no electric energy. The body has to be oxygenated. It has to be hydrated. It has to be mineralized. It has to be alkalized in order to really give the electric magnetic charge. But we don't get that from meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, flesh, flour, sugar, alcohol, tobacco, and all of that. And this is what the problem is with us.
We need
Not
people to ask
respected.
why.
Huh?
We need people to ask questions about that.
We're in a place where we're having to remember what Mother Earth has given us. She gave us fruit. She gave us vegetation. She does not produce starches. When a people take over another people, they have to feed people. When a people take over another people, they have to feed the people. The people who took over other people, they did not have the people's best interests at heart. If they would have had the best interests of heart, they would have left the people alone. All right. But then they got to feed the people. So feeding the people something that's easy. They weren't trying to give us that which is going to be optimum cellular functioning so those neurons are snap, crackle, and popping. You understand? They weren't trying to give us anything that was going to allow us to really remember the genius that is already in our bloodline. Because what? We were birthing babies and building civilizations before these people came out the cave. Why are we under them? Because we forgot how to be godly, how to be loving, how to be forgiving, how to be self-masterful, how to really be in obedience and obedience with what we've heard all of our lives. And so I am suggesting and I am advocating that in order to be about liberation, you cannot just be about the liberation of your own people. In order to be about liberation, you have to be about the liberation of all orders of existence. In order to be about liberation, you have to acknowledge that there is only one absolute and supreme intelligence that is present as all there is as existence itself. And so we want to be in a place and space where we're making the difference. We want to be in a place and space where we're taking personal responsibility on a daily basis, because we're all here serving time on Mother Earth. And the time that we're here is for coming into the reality of the timelessness and the eternity in which we're already spinning. Now, we did not come up out the earth. At the funerals, they say, oh, from the dust you've come, from the dust you'll return. And I'm saying we did not come up out the earth. We came to the earth from another realm of eternity into this realm of eternity, in the realm of temporality, physicality, materiality. But we came through the sacred fluid of our mother's womb, sparked by the sacred fluid of our fathers. And we got no support in remembering that we are immersed in nothing but the sacredness and the divinity of being. So I'm saying, let's remember, you're perfectly and divinely designed. You didn't design yourself. These people did not design us. We are already perfectly and divinely designed. And whatever the situation and circumstance, whatever has been the history, whatever has been the travail, whatever has been the addiction, whatever has been the sickness, whatever has been the illness, whatever has been the disease, we cannot dwell in that and be free from it. We have to remember that we are perfectly and divinely designed as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, immortal points of this presence that is all there is. And when I was a child, I wondered why it is that the children of God are dying when God does not die. Death is a program that's running here. We're already in the realm of eternity. We should not be dying at all.
Repeat that, please.
We are in the realm of eternity. Death is a program that's running. Otherwise, there should be no death here at all. But they tricked us into believing that you can be as sinful as you want to be because this one died for your sins. And God knows you ain't perfect. And I'm saying, well, God is perfect. Perfection is an inherent part of existence. Your heart was functioning perfectly before you started poisoning it with all of this garbage. Your brain was functioning, everything was functioning perfectly. No, we're realigning and reattuning with the truth that perfection is an inherent part of being. To be perfect in it doesn't mean that you don't make any mistakes. It means that you are able to self-correct immediately because you remember who and whose you are. And you're able to release and let go of what does not serve you consistently. We are here to grow. We're here to literally exalt life. We're here to really be refined. We're here to be shaped by hands of angels of light. We're here to honor and glorify the lineages through whom we've come. And because of how much blood has been spilled upon this planet, these people have been warring and warring and warring and warring and killing and killing and killing. And I'm just saying that is completely unsustainable. It's unsustainable. So what is the consequence of that? When the law is, you will reap a harvest that is consistent with the seeds that you have sown. So if you are one who is sowing the seeds of discord and chaos and sickness and illness and disease and death and manipulation and usurpation and propagandizing and commodifying and enslavement and whatnot, what is the just reward? The just reward is your death. The just reward is your being discontinued from being continued in existence from the rest of all of eternity. I mean, that's how deep this is. Now, do we want to be discontinued for following those who have not committed to living? Do we want to follow them? And this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. Our Blackness is not our salvation. We want to think that our Blackness is salvation. I'm saying our Blackness is not our salvation. Our light, love, care, correction, clearing, cleansing, consecration, purification, realignment, re-enthronement, that's our salvation. The cleansing of the blood. Because as long as our blood bears the violation of violated beings, inebriants, intoxicants, artificial colors, artificial flavors, FD&C, blue lake dye, and all of this stuff, We can't walk in the fullness of who we are. We've been poisoned. This is the methodology of the oppression of the people all over the world, to poison the bloodstream. The blood is sacred stuff. Here in the States, you can be given $70 when you give blood, but then it costs you $7,000 to have a blood transfusion. The spirit is charged on the blood. The condition and the quality of blood is going to lay foundation for the quality of thought. The quality of thought that we think is going to lay foundation for our choices. Our choices consistently made out over time is going to lay foundation for what's showing up for us in our living. But if we're consistently choosing to defile our blood, if we're consistently reaching for that which provides absolutely no nutrition, nothing that the body actually needs, if we're continually reaching for the flesh of dead animals and the aborted fetuses of chickens and the pus and mucus of cows and artificial colors and alcohol and tobacco and all of this stuff that is defiling and poisoning us, we may not be able to get out of this experience alive. And I'm saying that death is a program. And the agenda that is the escalation of somebody's world-conquering rampage has put us in a place where we are seeing the escalation of that has now become global initiative towards depopulation, zero population, and genocide. And we are in a place now that we can see it and we don't have to participate with it. We have to exert and exalt a full effort in our living. We cannot be a house divided within ourselves and survive it. We have to come to a point where we have the care, we have the courage, we will take initiative, we will ask and knock and pray with every fiber of our being to be completely cleared and cleansed and purified, to be renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, to walk as the evidence of the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living God, Goddess that is our absolute truth. We are not here to be enslaved. We are not here to be in the ditches and valleys of degradation. We are not here to live, enslave, and die. We are here to literally ensure that the kingdoms and queendoms of God are established all over the earth, which is why we've been scattered. Yes, Oshun. Oshun.
Yes. Would you explain the attack from the cellular level, which is impacting our DNA?
We're made with trillions and trillions of cells. And our bodies being perfectly and divinely designed. So we've got brain cells, we've got liver cells, eye cells, skin cells, cells that are perfectly and divinely designed for whatever their function is. But the cells are made of molecules and the molecules are made of atoms. And if you look at the atom through an atomic microscope, they're so small you can't even see it with the naked eye, but they have the atomic microscopes and they see that when they look at it, there's nothing there. That's what they think, there's nothing there. I'm saying, no, there's absolute and supreme intelligence that is there. It's everywhere, it's in the air. We are immersed in nothing but it. And that absolute and supreme intelligence, we're taking it in and charging every fiber of our being with each and every breath. And the spirit is literally charged upon the blood. So we'll be able to get in and out of these bodies. We should be able to get in and out the body because we're spirits. And spirits are intelligence. But the oppression in terms of putting all this gunk in the body. Now we're still functioning, but we're not functioning well, we're dysfunctioning. You understand? You're dysfunctioning. You're not functioning well because you are literally the physical personification of the entity that is absolute and supreme intelligence. We are individuations of nothing but absolute and supreme intelligence. We are the personification and individuation of absolute and supreme intelligence. As men, the progenitor of lineages, and as women, the perpetuator of lineages. But we have been fed that which our bodies cannot utilize as fuel. We're having to be fueled, not fed. And most of our diets are not about optimum cellular functioning. And so this is the new thought that shouldn't be new. We should be eating, consuming for optimum cellular functioning, charging the cells. What do the cells require? They require life force. They require energy. They require the minerals. Where are the minerals coming from? The minerals are coming from the earth. The oxygenation from the air, the energy from the sun, all of this is working together so that we are able to function. Now, nobody, no matter what you eat, you would not be able to process anything without your breath. We are literally breatharians. And we have ones and ones who've already proven that you do not have to eat anything and you can be maintained and sustained in existence. But we are being sustained by that which is in the air, that which is everywhere, that which is emanating from the planets and the sun. So when we talk about cellular oppression, we're talking about this thing that the way in which so much of humanity is being fed from the flesh of dead animals, as if the animal should not have right to its life. Now, most people will accept that killing is violation, right? Even those ones who kill, they'll lock you up for killing, right? It's like, okay, the law is there, but we can break the law. We established all of this on killing and murdering and whatnot, and then we create holy wars and whatnot and think that there's some triumph and victory. And I'm saying we are being held by virtue of our disregard and disrespect of the lives of other ones. The fish, the chicken, the turkey, the cow, the pig, and then there's a website on Instagram with the UK, and it gives a total. It gives totals of all of the animals that are being killed for human consumption. It's crocodiles, it's alligators, it's sea urchins, it's camels, it's pigeons, it's horses, it's dogs, it's cats, it's all kinds of reptiles. I'm saying that this issue of denying other ones their lives and then feeding off of their body parts, creating rot, maggots, parasites, bacteria, organisms that are now feeding in the body, traveling through the bloodstream, burrowing in the brain, in the heart, in the organs. So when we talk about cellular oppression, we're talking about the cell is no longer intelligence. It has not been given the electromagnetic frequency and energy. The cells are literally becoming so acidic that people are now having to have hip replacement surgeries. They're having to have back surgeries because there's no connective tissue between their vertebrae. They're having to have rotator cuff surgeries, all of this because their bodies are being fed and their cells are carrying so much acid, so much artificial color, so much alcohol, so much tobacco residues, brain cells, liver cells, lung cells. We're made with cells and our cells are being poisoned and therefore our blood is poisoned. Now we can cleanse. Many of us, when we were children, had a craving for chalk, cornstarch, argo starch, dirt. And there are many ones that I've spoken to over the years who remember that. And some of them, their parents are still eating cornstarch, but it was the actual clay that's coming from the earth that has the minerals. See, the beef, the pork, the chicken, the fish don't have minerals. They got worms, they got bacteria. They don't have minerals to charge the cells, right? So the cells are now having all of this waste. And then you're seeing people's bodies blow up. You're seeing men look like they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 months pregnant because they're not eating anything that the body can utilize as fuel. But whose businesses are these? These are not even our businesses. We are not in the business of raising thousands of pigs and chickens and all of this and slaughtering them and serving their body parts to people. It's not our business, but we're consuming it. Our cells are units of intelligence that are perfectly and divinely designed to be regenerating, to be renewed, to be revitalized. Now, the spirit that we each are and the words that we speak, if we are resubstantiating our bodies to be 80% highly charged water, knowing that water is the medium of intelligence, it holds frequency and vibration. And this is why we were told through fasting and prayer, the desires of your heart will be granted unto you. The fasting is not just doing without food. The fasting is more hydration. We're not getting hydration. We're not getting water from meat. We're not getting water from eggs. We're not getting water from oatmeal and porridge and grits. And we're not getting hydrated from any of that. And the dehydration that comes from eating that is causing the bowels to be backed up. And constipation, from my experience with all of my clients who've been diagnosed with cancer, cancer is literally chronic constipation over years. It is acidity in the cells, and the cells begin to lose their inherent programming for regeneration, rejuvenation, revitalization, and they begin to deteriorate rapidly. What do? Be committed to our cleansing. The body is so intelligent that from the day we came out of our mother's womb, somebody bathed us until we could bathe ourselves. From 2 years later, when we had all of our teeth, they taught us to brush our teeth. And unless there's some seriously mitigating circumstances, the majority of the people will bathe and brush their teeth on a daily basis. We'll wash between the legs, the crack of the buttocks, up under the scrotum, between the toes, under the arms. Even if you're doing a bird bath, you're going to hit those spots, right? But then we're not doing anything to cleanse internally. What we're consuming is creating waste, and we're retaining waste. And this is the foundation of the obesity. This is a foundation of why it is that we are and have been able to matriculate through the systems of miseducation and get degreed, we get positions, and now we're maintaining the system of oppression as teachers, as doctors, as lawyers, as presidents, as popes, as pastors. You understand? Everybody has been affected by this. And so therefore, everybody needs cleansing.
What do you say to people who are so busy going to work and studying and doing everything in life, but they don't have time to eat right, eating fast food, and they're not cleansing? Not that they don't know they should be cleansing, because as Caribbean people and African people, we've been told to cleanse and get a washout every so often. And when children were going back to school after a long holiday, grandma used to get the bush herb and make the herb tea. You know, it's in our tradition, but everybody's too busy now. What do you say to that?
You know, when I was in Jamaica and I did 5 radio shows and 5 workshops and whatnot, and the sisters were like, "Me don't want to be MAGA." It's like they don't want to lose the waist. They want to feel voluptuous or whatever. They don't want to be skinny. And I'm saying is that at this particular point in time, we get what we ask for. We get what we apply ourselves to. I'm just trying to set the bar much, much higher so that what we want is to be truly successful in our living. But that is to be able to live without creating sickness, illness, and disease. Right now, we've got so many women who are walking without their breasts, walking without their uteruses, walking without their fallopian tubes, walking without the knowing of the divinity and the sanctity and the sacredness of their bodies, walking with so much shame, so much guilt, so much diagnosis, so much pharmacology. So it's like, no, if you don't want to cleanse, then do what you do, but you're going to reap a harvest that is consistent with that. And our partaking of the violation of violated beings means that what we do unto others is being done unto us, and people don't get it. And I'm saying, you're eating the fetuses of another being. The egg. What is the egg? It is the genetic information, chromosomes and hormones of another being. That's indigestible protein. We can't do anything with it. And so it clogs. It begins to just build up around the blood vessels, the arteries, and all of that. And we are in a place where now you get the high blood pressure because the blood is not pumping. The heart has to work harder. And then they put you on medication. And the medication is not cleansing. The medication is not oxygenating. The medication is not hydrating. The medication is not facilitating elimination. The medication is creating more acidity. The medication gives this thought that we could just take the medicine and keep eating that which our bodies don't know what to do with. We are designed for mineralization through hydration, oxygenation, to alkalize our systems for consistent cellular repair, regeneration. And that's what constitutes real health, and the capacity to outthink a system that undermines ourselves and our children. See, we have to outthink this at this particular point. That's why I'm saying our time now is to rise, but we cannot rise if we are not respecting our perfect and divine design. We cannot rise if we don't care to allow the chicken her freedom, the hen her freedom, the cow her freedom, the bull his freedom, the pig her freedom. You understand? And so much of the animals are female. And so we're in a place and space now where what we do unto others is being done unto us. And we were told to love, because love is the fulfillment of the law, but love is the harmony of the truth, that we are all dwelling in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence as points of presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. So there's a saying, Oshun, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
But the sugar, now, many of our ancestors were enslaved behind sugar. Sugar literally undermines the will. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if you want to be cleansed, if you want to reverse your issues, you want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it. You'll do it. But you got to activate your will. You have to activate your care, because you will not do something you don't care to do. And if you don't care to walk in the fullness of who you are, to honor the glory and the lineages through whom you come, you won't do it. But then what's on the other side of that? If you can get out the body as a dead person, who receives you in the spirit world when you've been disobedient, when you have not honored, when you did not love, when you did not care, when you did not try, when you had no effort, when you just enjoy being full of all of this garbage, and you loved being full of garbage. You fought for your right to be wrong for almost every day of your life. Well, God gave me the free will. It's my free will to eat what I want. I'm saying, right? And that's why the cancer is there, the heart disease is there, the strokes are there, the heart attack is there. I was like, no, do what you do, baby. But I'm saying you won't have the glory of participating with our rise. And women, because we have been entrusted by the cosmic as the perpetuators of our lineages, it is not acceptable for us not to care. It is not acceptable for us to be in a place where we feel like we have the right to do whatever the hell we want to do while our children are being poisoned with all of this garbage, all this artificial colors, all this artificial flavors and what. And I'm just saying, no, you want to be respected as an intelligent person, understand that intelligence is what you've been given, but intelligence doesn't kill itself. That which we refer to as God did not put us here so that we could be out of alignment, so that we be slave and commodity under another people who hate us. And so it's political. Our liberation cannot be legislated. Our liberation cannot be something that organizations decide, oh, well, it's a few of us who are going to liberate everybody. No, a few cannot liberate masses of people. Masses of people have to care about their own personal alignment with that which is beating their heart and breathing them. We pay attention to everything these people do without loving that which is beating your own heart and breathing you. We're perfectly and divinely designed. We are not designed to be killing ourselves. Shanice, you have any comments, questions? No, it's a lot.
Adama, Shanice, go ahead, please.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah, rise up. Yeah, rise up, Heraldess Adama. You know, the message that you're bringing to us today, I think for myself and maybe for most of my audience, not all, but for most of my audience, is a very interesting and enlightening perspective on life itself, on our body, and you know how we ought to feed our body in order to be able to experience, you know, the highest heights of our existence. So it's a very deep message itself, because I'm sure everybody would want to be able to experience, you know, the potential heights that we could experience, and why we're here. And, you know, you're sharing with us really, you know, what is stopping us and what is getting in the way of us actually experiencing that queendom or that kingdom experience. So it's a really, really important message. And we talk about spirituality a lot, and what you're sharing with us actually is blending, you know, spirituality with our existence, our lineage, how it's linked to what we eat, how it's linked to how we honor our bodies, how it impacts on our wellness. And so this, for most of us, if we want to start feeding our cellular self in the correct way, would require a considerable change. And, you know, you said this is a pivotal time and a key time for us to be rising as a people. But for many of us, the change will be drastic, you know, because we've been conditioned to eating the cow, the chicken, you know, the additives, preservatives, and everything else. And so, you know, were you at one time maybe consuming some of this stuff? And if so, you know, what was the process for you to, you know, make the change that you needed to make in order to reach that higher self? And just remind us of the benefits and why we ought to be trying to do that for ourselves, please.
You know, I grew up on it with all of that. You know, most of our families, you know, I talk about salvation. I said our first degree of salvation is that we were saved from our families, our parents, you know, because each generation, this is the methodology of the oppression, is to have us in a place where our blood is being defiled. So I grew up, but I was in and out of hospitals the entire time I was little, elementary school. But it wasn't until college at the University of Florida, 30,000 students of the 30,000, 1,500 were Black. Blacks didn't start going to the University of Florida until 1972. I was admitted in the class of 1975. In my junior year, in my sociology course, I was a sociology minor with a psychology major. And so in my junior year, the statistics were saying 20,000 Black Americans die every year from sugar diabetes. Another 15,000 die every year from complications from obesity. Another 12,000 are dying from cancer of the lungs. Another 8,000 from cancer of the liver. Another 6,000 from kidney failure. And then by the time they begin to factor in our single-headed households, our divorce rate, our quote unquote illegitimate children, our teenage pregnancies, our abortion rate, our incarceration, our juvenile delinquency. It was like a tally was formed to say, well, because at least 70% of you all are affected by all of these things. This is the evidence of your inherent inferiority to us. 30,000 students, 1,500 were Black. And that's when I began to question, and I raised my hand, and I asked, what's the cause, what's the cure? They say, we don't have a cause, we don't know the cure, but because of affirmative action, you're a double minority, you're both Black and female, you can get paid for doing the research. And that was piss poor and pathetic for me, because I didn't go to school to do research. I really didn't even want to go to school. I never felt like going to college was going to make me, all right? My mother made me go, because I come from those kinds of ones who think that college is the thing that you do. So I did it, right? But the issue is that if I'm in school and my mother is working to make sure that my room, my board, my fees, everything is paid, and then you have no answers as to why this is affecting my people this way. So I went directly to God. Show me what this is. Show me what this is. And it reminded me that at 7, I didn't want to eat the meat. At 7, I was throwing my parents' cigarettes away. At 7, I was throwing their alcohol away. At 20, I'm smoking, I'm drinking, and I'm still eating the meat. But everybody around me is doing it. We had a pub on campus, so you could go and have beer and drink and all day and all night. And you understand? I'm just saying is that to be put in an adulterated situation at the age of 17, I went to college at 17. All right. And so here I am at 19 going on 20, at 20, and I'm questioning why it is nobody's questioning anything. You just go to, you go get your degree, you're going to go get a job, you're going to go do this, and you're going to do this till you die. And what I realized with that opening is that we just want to be in a place. Hold on just a sec. Can you set them in the door for me? Janice.
Oh, so I've lost.
And so we're just.
I
I'm
seem
sorry.
to have lost. Oh,
Hold on. And so
She's
just
has returned.
coming to
the
this place
IMS
and
is
space.
coming right back, family.
Yeah, coming to this place and space of realizing that everybody.
Yeah, your video is off. If you could put.
Huh?
There.
Everybody was affected by this.
My
But
sis, your video is off. Can you put your video?
Oh, right. So everybody, our professors, my students, everybody's eating all of this stuff. So I looked at whose businesses are these? And I realized that these are not our businesses. The alcohol was not our business. The sugar is not our business. The chicken wasn't our business. None of it was our businesses, but they're everywhere in our communities. And so I went on a personal economic boycott. I'm not giving you no goddamn dime. I'm not giving you another dime. And I went from eating absolutely everything to having fruit in the morning, huge salads in the evening. I went from 127 pounds to 103 in less than 45 days with no additional exercise. All right. And so the issue is that my head got so clear that I did not have to literally labor over my books anymore. I could read the chapter, go to class, hear what was not being said, read between the lines, and ask the critical questions. And I brought my professors to their freaking knees. They cried like babies with me. So that showed me that the cleaner we are, the greater we can think. I realized that I had not been thinking the entire time. The education process was pretty much just regurgitating information. They don't even challenge you to be able to think. They're not challenging us to be able to say, oh, well, if you do deprivation studies where you take baby primates from their mother, and the longer you withhold the baby from its mother, it will become dysfunctional. And the longer it goes, it's going to become more dysfunctional. And if you deprive it of its mother, it will die. So if you know that, then why do you set up hospitals in a place where you'll take the baby from its mother and put it in a nursery over here away from its mother. If you know that, and I was a psychology major, that in an overcrowded situation, mother rats will eat their young, then why do you build housing that is creating overcrowded situations and then see our abortion rate go up? We're not making the connections. And so the clarity of mind. So this is what really started for me. Now, here we are 47 years later. And I've seen so many vegan vegetarians pass away because nobody really made a proper estimation and guesstimation as to how much nitrates, nitrites, BHA, BHT, artificial colors, artificial flavors are still in our bloodstream from the way in which we were raised as children with hot dogs and hamburgers and nitrates and nitrites. The BHA, the BHT preservatives that were in our breakfast cereals, the artificial colors and flavors that were in our breakfast cereals, the synthetics that were in our breakfast cereals. These chemicals are not designed to get out of our bodies, but the body is so intelligent that when you stop feeding from all of this, it moves into cleanse mode. So now we're having the responsibility to really facilitate the cleansing internally. How do we do that? By oxygenating more intensely when we rise, hydrating, and then we have the clay. Now, many of us, when we were pregnant, we crave clay. Do you have any recollection of that, Shanice? Of the craving of clay during pregnancy, the eating of dirt as a child?
No, I don't.
All right, many of us do here in the States.
As a child, yes, eating dirt, yes.
Right, so all right, so that's the issue. We feel like, it's better to eat the flesh of a dead animal than eat the dirt of the earth. And I'm saying, no, we're having to get the dirt to help get rid of all of the stuff that came into the body with the flesh of dead animals, because it's not just the flesh you're getting chemicals, you're getting preservatives, you're getting bacteria, you're getting worms, you're getting organisms. And most of the disease, regardless of what they call it, is by virtue of the proliferation of the organisms that are in the organs. So if it's diabetes, they're in the pancreas. If it's heart disease, they're in the heart. So if it's liver disease, they're in the liver. So we're having to really cleanse. And so I have been providing what I refer to as inspirational lifestyle change consulting. Been doing this for almost 25 years, the whole same 25 years that I have been doing radio, with the meeting of the inner circle on wrfg.org, really speaking to the issues, because we have been inundated with the propaganda coming from advertisers. Before our commercials, during our Saturday morning cartoons. You understand? We wanted to have all of this stuff. And this is the issue, is that a people who undermine their children, and we got it when we were children, but each generation is being assaulted with more chemicals than the previous one. With the Hot Pockets, with the Cheetos, with the Doritos, with the Takis. I mean, all of this stuff that is marketed to children that is full of behavior modifying chemicals. So this is where I started at the age of 20, because I really got to a point then, Shanice, where I didn't really want to live. I could not justify in my mind why it is that I would be working for the next 50 years just to generate money, trade men like you trade shoes, and birth babies that grow up to serve the devil's purposes. In my mind, I could miss that. And it was as a result of a social movements class where the professor, it's like the first thing you do on the first day of class is really write down what it is you want to accomplish in your life. For me, I wanted to be the progression of us, and what I saw at the March on Washington in 1963 with Dr. King and all of those ones. I knew I should be progression of us as a people. I knew that we all should be progression of us as a people. But listening to the voices of Dr. King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and Adam Clayton Powell and all of the ones who were the voices of the Black Power movement, the civil rights movement, and whatnot. When I came out of that class that night, I made a commitment. Let me live to make a difference in this world, or let me not live at all. But I refuse to be enslaved. And just because I made that commitment at 20 does not mean that I don't consistently and continuously recommit. To live and to have been given life is a commitment that is God's commitment to us. The universe is committed to us. It has not stopped doing anything that it does. But we cannot be unwilling participants in the glory of God and think that we'll have the glory of God. You have to participate with this. You have to really activate every fiber of your being with your care, with your love, with your reverence, with your respect, treasuring and cherishing the gift and the blessedness in being. And being in a place where you are all right with being all right. You are all right with holding on to your uterus. When they tell you got fibroids in your uterus and we need to take it out, don't believe that. You can be healed. And see, here in the States, years ago, they wouldn't allow us in their hospitals. So our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers were doing all of the healing. I'm sure that's what's been happening all over the world. But all of a sudden, we're not capable of healing ourselves anymore. We have to go into a medical system that prefers to take our breasts, take our thyroids, take our glands, take our organs, take it, as opposed to telling us that we just need to cleanse the body. So it's our time to get beyond this. It's our time to reclaim our footing upon the path of eternal life. It's our time to be in a place where we are beholding to that which is beating our hearts and breathing us. We are loving being with our whole body, heart, mind, with all of our might, because there's not a freaking thing that these people can give us that is greater than who and what we already are, butt naked. But then we don't respect ourselves. We feel like we got the right to be inebriated, intoxicated, full of garbage, and then want to be respected as intelligent people. They don't have that for us. And so I'm calling the sisterhood forward. Women all over the world, women, whatever hue you are, from the blackest black to the lightest light, it is our time to be decisive that we will serve life. It is our time to be in a place and space where we understand that we have shared history of incest, rape, violation, and all of that. We have the reality of our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers having been oppressed. And so, no, we rise on behalf of all of those ones, on behalf of those ones who fought, those ones who were slain, those ones who were raped and violated and beaten, those ones who were hung. I'm just saying, at this particular point in time, no, let's have a commitment on behalf of the ones through whom we've come. Let's have a commitment to glorify and honor life itself. But every being has the right to its life.
Steve, Heraldess,
Yes, ma'am.
we have to reach a point where we stand up and raise our voice. Heraldess,
Yes, ma'am.
it's time that we rise, stand up, say enough is enough. I want my body parts to be with me
Yes.
from now until eternity.
Yes.
I am the progenitor of lineages. I am the sacred feminine. I and my sister Gaia, Earth Mother, we're one. We have to come to awareness. Those who are aware, we will work with them and continue to encourage them. And those who are asleep, we will shine our light so bright that they will ask, what is it that you're doing? How can I be like you? And they will want to rise up too.
Yes. And so it's an all call. It's an all call. We can flip the script. Now, The boycott of the death industries is a natural culmination of our being committed to life. So politically, a boycott of the death industries. We are not here to serve death. We are not the children of a God of death. Boycotting death and those things that rob us of our life currency. We should not be buying them. We should not be investing in that. And this is one of the reasons why we see so much homeless, so much helpless, so much degradation and violation, is because of the products that are coming from the meat, the dairy, the eggs, the chicken, the alcohol, the tobacco, the sugar, the soda, the candy, all of this. These are the weapons of our oppression. And we have to begin to see them for what it is. It's not fun. They just had Halloween, where everybody's, feeding their children all of this artificial candy with artificial colors and flavors and sugar and whatnot. And then they're preparing for the thanks taking, so that there is carnage that is happening now with the killing of all of these turkeys to prepare them for that holiday that they call Thanksgiving. And I'm saying we should be in our Thanksgiving 24/7 with each and every breath and every beat of our heart. And we don't celebrate the gifts of God by feeding off of the carcass of a dead animal. Who does that? Many people are doing it, but who really does that? Who really feeds off the carcasses of dead animals? And you say, oh, well, we do. And that's the problem. That's the root of the issue. Your body is the temple for the re-enthronement of the true spirit of the living God, Goddess. We must be cleansed. All of the disease that we're dealing with is because our bodies are contaminated with the rot of pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken and alcohol and tobacco and white sugar and all of this. We don't have to participate with it. And that's why I'm saying, no, now is our time to be cleansed. Now, the body is so intelligent that when you stop doing it and you start your day with warm water, some Himalayan pink salt, Celtic salt, sea salt to open up your elimination, alkalize your system, have your herbal teas, your medicinal teas, your burdock, your yellow dock, your sarsaparilla, your cheney root. You understand? We got herbs, so that's how we start our day and we open up the elimination. Now, I have here an internal clay because the clay is the magnetization for pulling the chemicals out of the system. Just changing the diet does not get the chemicals out of the system. And this is why I've seen so many vegan vegetarians pass away, because the body is isolating those chemicals and it's becoming cysts and tumors. And within it, and this is what the fibroids are in the womb, is the indigestible protein for all of the fetuses that you've eaten, all of the cheese. The cheese is, it's solidified milk from cows. So I'm just saying is that it's indigestible. So it recoagulates, and now the mucus is holding it, and then it's becoming full of parasites. But we can cleanse from this. They told us not to douche. And I'm saying we have to douche. So if you don't clean the vagina is self-cleaning supposedly, but you can't even begin to estimate the toxicity of the men that we've had who are smokers and drinkers and flesh eaters and this and that, and all of the bacteria. The chicken here has what's called the superbug. Because in 2009, there was a mandate called Codex Alimentarius, where all animals being raised for human consumption had to be assaulted with a whole nother series of antibiotics because of how much infection these animals have before their slaughter. All right, so when we are eating these animals, they're paying their frustration, their anguish. These are not free. These animals never had a real life. They lived in captivity. They were being abused. And what's showing up for us is urinary tract infections, infections within the womb, because the animals, the parasites, the bacteria, they become so strong because they are intelligences. So the stronger the antibiotics, the stronger they're resistant, the stronger they become. And so are coming to a point where we realize that the infections that we're having are laying foundation for what's showing up in our wombs, that we're having our wombs removed because of how much coagulation and how much toxicity and how much acidity, and all of this is the precursors to cancer. So why would anybody in their right mind want to do and continue to do that which is creating disease for themselves? Like, in your right mind, you wouldn't want that. So what's causing the resistance is that the chemicals have modified our behavior to the degree to which we are and have not been able to respond correctly and directly to being warred against, where that which we have come to love as food is a tool of our oppression and the weapons of mass destruction. And so I'm available for questions if there are any questions or comments. But I know that in our now moment, we as women, as mothers, we as daughters, granddaughters, great-granddaughters, great-great-great-granddaughters, mothers, grandmothers,
Heraldess
great-grandmothers.
Adama, Christian said, very interesting, Madame. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Christian?
Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, even though I was having connection issues because of my location, but I've still been able to, pick up a
Where are you
few.
calling from, Christian?
Please, ma, I didn't hear you.
Where are you calling from?
Calling
Oh, from South Africa, Johannesburg.
Very nice.
Yes, but originally from Ghana, the gateway to Africa.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And so
so I
we
want
have a
to.
question.
Yes, ma. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for this particular presentation. I feel like this is something that needs to reach a wider audience, and we need to teach our, fellow Africans, especially African youths. I focus so much on the youth because the youth are the future. Most of us do not believe in anything indigenous. We don't believe in anything that comes from Africa, unless of course it comes from the west, the so-called west, or it comes from abroad. And that's why most of our young people here have to even go through the deserts, try to cross the Mediterranean Sea to in search of so-called greener pastures. So we need to consciously educate our young people. So I just want to appreciate you for what you are doing, and I'm looking forward to having you on some of my programs, because I work with a lot of youth. I've already sent you a Facebook request. Yeah, so
Mhm.
probably maybe after the meeting you get to accept my request and also see the amazing work we are doing here in Africa, because we want to tell our own story the African way. We don't have to wait for someone to tell us who we are, because if you don't tell the world who you are, the world will tell you who you are not. So thank you so much, Ma. It's a pleasure to be part of today's meeting.
Thank you so much. Send any kind of contact to adamaspeaks@gmail.com.
adamaspeaks@gmail.com.
Adamaspeaks
Thank you.
at
Okay,
gmail.com.
thank you,
I
Ma.
look forward to hearing from you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ma.
Thank you so much. That is my mentee, and he will be one of the presidents of Ghana, and he will make a major difference in
Mhm.
time to come. Thank you so much, Christian. Continue to do the fine work you're doing. And definitely, we want to engage Adama in Ghana and South Africa, where you happen to be now, working in Soweto. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there others who'd like to make their comments now as we come closer towards the end of this session? One of the things that is so important that we must touch on is that when we undermine intelligences of creation, this beautiful human body, And a being would say, well, I don't mind if I get a little obese, or if I have this, or I have to take a surgery. We have to die anyway. And you made it clear that's not our reason for being here. We
Absolutely.
are in the realm of eternity. So we have to rise up and realize that we are divine, and in our divinity, we must help others to rise up and enjoy life to the fullest of our capacity.
Absolutely. There is no greater gift. And that's what I'm saying. Life is the wealth. Now, there is so much genius. And when we think about the reality that everything that we see is because of what somebody imaged. Everything that we see is the manifestation, the materialization of something that came from the imagination. We've existed upon this planet for millennium. We didn't just get here. The issue for us is coming to a point where we realize that the kingdom of God, or I'll put it this way, the victory and the triumph has already been won, because nobody can outthink the intelligence of existence. It will outlast, outlove, outplan, outplot anything and anybody, anywhere, at any time. We're all these points of it, right? So love is the harmony of truth. Love is the fulfillment of the law. The law is love. And love is the respect and the reverence, the appreciation, the gratitude, the thanksgiving, the realization of how blessed everything and everybody is to be in existence itself. Every eye that sees as an eye of God. And so those ones who raise animals, those ones who deal with animals, and see what has happened in Africa, what has happened in other places in terms of the murder of these creatures, the killing of the elephants for their tusks, the killing of these animals, these lions, the hippopotamus, and these ones put their heads on walls. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole safari thing, and people feel as though there is some macho frequency from killing. And I'm saying is that we were here to respect, to reverence, appreciate, be in the gratitude and the love and the thanksgiving. And we've seen how people go throughout the world and they make friends with every living creature. You understand? It's like everything is intelligent enough to respond to love. The issue we're having with so much earthquake, so much hurricane, so much storm, so much of this is because the devastation that people are living is being reflected into the atmosphere in which they are. I have a personal thought that we're in that now moment where phalanxes of angels are being assigned to scour the earth to realize where the light is. Phalanxes of angels are scouring the earth to see where the people are living in their light. And where the people are living in their light, they will be the salt of the earth. And everything that is not in light, everything that is not in love, everything that is detrimental to itself can be wiped out at any given point in time. We are already realizing that civilizations have risen and they've fallen. Right now, most of the civilizations, most of the governments are in free fall. The people themselves have the responsibility to raise completely up. We do not have to support the industries of death. We do not have to work for them. We do not have to consume their products. We need to be cleansed from it, and the body will begin its own cleansing just from giving it up. But then we bring the elements of the earth into our bodies so that we are able to really facilitate getting the chemicals and being able to be supercharged, getting the minerals, the calcium, the iron, the phosphorus, the manganese, the magnetism, and all of this from the sea moss, the bladderwrack, the herbs and whatnot, so that we are outthinking a system. So there's one thing to criticize the system. It's another thing to be wise enough, integritous enough, courageous enough to create a better way. And that's where we are now. We have to create a better way. Everybody wants to criticize, but criticism does not meaning that you have applied yourself to being a clearer, cleaner vehicle and vessel for the love of God, the light of God, the truth of God, the peace of God, the poise of God, the power of God, and to be an instrument of God and its light and its wisdom, because it will always have its best interests at heart, and its best interest is for the exaltation of life. Everybody's given it. Everybody has it. The people are impoverished because they have been robbed of the wealth of themselves because of the poisoning of the blood. Otherwise, everybody has life. There's no greater life. Now, the issue is, can we outthink this? And to really access the divine mind, which we have access to, you got to clean the blood. Or what many of us heard when we were coming up, salvation comes through the blood of Christ. A bloodstream that bears no violation of violated beings, no inebriants, no intoxicants, no artificial colors and flavors and all of that, because they are behavior modifiers. When Hitler's regime was overturned, the United States government gave his scientists asylum here, and they are behind the behavior modifiers. That's all of the additives that are in this stuff that they call food. We never had to have it. Now, had we, from the time we came off the breast, if we were fortunate enough to be breastfed when we had all of our teeth, we were only designed to be fruitarians. Fruit is the body's natural cleanser. It should be the first meal that we have in the rise. Fruit provides us the water, it provides us the fiber to move through the colon, and it provides us the substance of minerals. Once we eat anything other than fruit, then we do not need to put any other fruit in our systems. So if you start your day with fruit, and I'm saying to give the body a chance to be, give the digestive system a chance to be rebooted, we do simple things. Now I'm finding people that get up and they have these smoothies with bananas and strawberries and chia seeds and flax seeds and greens and kale and all that. I say, you'll never hear.
Nuts and chlorella. It just
Right. It's too much. Pea protein, and it's too much. Our bodies are perfect. We don't really require that much. But now we have to be supercharged. So we need the minerals, we need the herbs, we need the clay, we need to open up the elimination. When we were children, we saw these red rubber bags with white tubes hanging from our grandmother's bathrooms. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh, yes.
Right? So we have to cleanse. So we're doing enemas daily. We're not trying to substitute the bowels by doing the enema. We're trying to cleanse the walls of the intestines after the bowels move. And so the issue for us is realizing that fruit, the more fruit you eat, the more water, the more hydration, the more the bowels should be moving. Most people are not eating enough fruit. Most people are eating too much starch that turns to sugar. And then the doctors have them in a place where they feel like they can't eat fruit because of their diabetes. I said, your diabetes did not come because of the fruit. The diabetes is now because of the organisms that are in the pancreas from all of the meat and the flour and the sugar and stuff that you've eaten. We are creating a new internal system, new blood, new lymph, new intracellular fluids, so that the spirit of the living God can be re-enthroned as our absolute reality. Light, love, wisdom, truth, peace, poise, power, potency, high ethic, integrity, morality, sensibility, our care to walk the face of this earth as some of the most dynamic spirits on the planet by virtue of all of the other dynamic spirits. We should feel a sense of duty, obligation, and responsibility, particularly those of us who are in maturity. Each generation should be able to give the benefit of their gifts, talents, skills, ingenuity. But what's happening is that those who are our elders have been robbed of the opportunity to really come into wisdom. Many, they just got older. They did not really become elder. Many of them have missed their opportunity for wisdom. They are cancerous. They are becoming demented. They have Alzheimer's, what my grandmother used to call senility. because of how much accumulation of mucus is blocking and obstructing the nerve force within the brain, going down the spinal cord into the nerve endings of all your glands, organs, and whatnot. So we're not developing our light body that would take us into the exalted spirit world when we leave the physical body. But the body and the cells of the body are going to respond to the frequency and the energy and the word and the thought of the intelligence that's in it. We heard in the beginning, there was the word was God, the word was with God. What word are you speaking? They got us in a place where the children are cursing. They're not making any sense. You understand that we're not declaring, decreeing. We have to claim what we put behind I am becomes our reality. So if you keep saying I am sick, I am broke, I'm in, you understand? So no, we have the responsibility to reclaim the divinity, the sanctity, the sacredness of who and whose we are. Everything is spirit in terms of every living being has a spirit. To have a spirit that is not in light, you understand? So when we talk about spirituality, everybody is, what we're seeing is the evidence of spirituality. The issue is that where there is no commitment to life, there's no commitment to love, then you got the spirit of distortion, dysfunction, devilment, evil. But evil in and of itself doesn't exist anywhere throughout all of existence except in the minds and the hearts of the people whose blood has been defiled. Evil is the distortion of what it is to be intelligent. And when you spell evil backwards, it's live. You spell devil backwards, it's lived. So the corporate deities of death and the devils are those who make life a past tense reality when life in and of itself is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. Our time to accept that we can be healed without butchering is now. The time for us to care, to be cleared and cleansed and purified and rejoice in the blessedness of our being with each and every breath and every beat of our heart is now. The time for us to regain our footing upon the path of eternal life when we are already immersed on a planet that is spinning in eternity is now. The time for us to stop supporting the corporate deities of death and feeding off of violated beings and alcohol and tobacco and white sugar and all of this garbage that is making us sick is now. The time to reverence, appreciate, love, and exalt a full effort in our living and our loving and our forgiving and our releasing and our letting go is now. The time to harmonize with the will of existence, our angels, our guides, our guardians, our ancients is now. The time for us to declare and decree that we are these points of this absolute and supreme intelligence, and we are supremely intelligent to love ourselves to life, restore ourselves,
Indeed.
recommit, reorient, so that we are the living evidence of the will of God in expression. That the children of Africa, the children of the cosmic, wherever you are, we are the children of eternity. We should not be dying here. And women should not be the perpetuators of sickness, illness, and disease, and poisoning our children with garbage.
Indeed. As the sacred feminine, we are the tree of life. We extend life, we give life, and we nurture, and we uplift. We do not take life. Adama, I have been searching for truth for over 25 years before I found myself and recognized who and what I was or am. And during that time, from menopause, perimenopause, before menopause, I had an issue of blood and bleeding, and my doctor, trusted doctor, did not know exactly what to do. And so he sent me to a gynecologist, and she gave me birth control pills. Then she didn't work, and she did one other thing, and then finally said, "You have to have a hysterectomy." But because I'd been praying and I had been clear that I was not going to go the way of my mother, my aunt, and my cousin, I said, "No, thank you." And I left her never to return. And I went to my naturopath, who put me on aloe vera, orange seed, and orange,
Peel.
pulp of orange, blending
Okay.
in. By cleaning and cleansing and clearing my body, the blood just vanished, never to return to that. And I never doubted once, never again doubted natural foods, herbs, and doubted my own body to give me the answer to what I needed to do to heal myself. And I encourage all women to stop, ask yourself the questions you need to ask. You know, what is wrong? What do I need to do? You know, start doing your herbs and your healing and your cleansing, and also take the opportunity to find out more about Adama at therealadama.speaks.com.
Or
And
YouTube,
also, she has a
YouTube and
number.
Instagram.
Yeah, YouTube and Instagram. Please ask questions. She has a lifeline and a circle, a sisterhood circle. And she's also heard on WRFG radio in Atlanta. It's been over 25, 26 years. She's been speaking midnight until 4 a.m. Most of us may be sleeping, but take an opportunity to listen and or go online and listen to the podcast. You will be absolutely amazed how your life could turn around. I wrote the book after all of that, after um, the cleansing and the clearing. Living life as a sacred practice, discover yourself as a source of creation, and it has helped many.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Adama, for being there for me, introducing me to the clay, and encouraging me to continue on it, to drink the clay water. So I've been drinking through a little cold I picked up from my granddaughter in the house. And you know, the douching, the enemas, the regular enemas. During the flu, the enema and the clay waters helped me to push through very quickly to rid myself of it. I didn't need a flu shot.
Right.
Lots of vitamin C, clay water, the enemas really helped. Adama, can you just run through what a normal lifestyle, what the breakfast, lunch, and dinner should be?
Well, basically, I'm wanting us to get to this place where we're giving our bodies a chance to be really hydrated. So, you know, you can start depending on if you've been diagnosed with anything, if you're overweight, if you're having any problems, any pain, you want to start by alkalizing your system first thing in the morning. That could be a glass of warm water with lime or lemon juice. It could be, if your bowels are not moving regularly, 32 ounces of warm water before you go to bed with a couple of tablespoons of Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, Epsom salt, baking soda, Celtic salt. They help to alkalize the system, but we want to really get those bowels moving. So we want the bowels to move first thing in the morning. If they don't, the hot water and this and a tablespoon of salt, 16 ounces will help.
Water with salt.
And then whatever herbal teas. Those who are on my protocols will start their day with the enemas, with the warm clay water. And the clay is coming from deep within the earth. It's red, it's deep red, it's high in iron. Iron is the mineral that the liver, as the major organ of detoxification, requires. Many of us who were craving cornstarch, argo starch, dirt, and ice when we were children, it was really a craving for the minerals that our hot dogs and hamburgers and breakfast cereals and all of that were not giving us. All right, so we're getting our minerals now from the salts, from the clays, and from the teas. And then your break fast should be fresh, juicy fruit, not bananas and breadfruit, but juicy fruit, that which has water. So we're talking about our melons, our mangoes, our pears, our peaches, whatever fresh, juicy fruit. Now, wherever you are in the world, I don't know all of the fruit that's available, but we should be starting our day with fruit and not cereals and porridge and stuff. And then you eat your fill, eat till you're full. Don't just have one apple, have two or three or four. Don't just have one slice of the melon, eat the whole half a melon, until you're full so that you have the water and the fiber to actually move through the colon. You want to be in a place and space where you are really hydrating your whole bloodstream. Now, because the fruit is the body's natural cleanser, that's why we start the day with that. And basically, if you eat enough of it, you may not even have a desire for anything else until dinner. So eating 3 times a day is not a necessity. If you have your fill of fruit first thing and you eat enough of it, and then you can have another fruit later, but then your dinner is things with seeds, your okra, your peppers, your greens, your squashes, your zucchini, what grows above ground. What's growing underground, which has no seed, is going to be more mucus forming. That's your potatoes, your yams, I don't know, whatever else people have. But we want to get to a point where we give the body opportunity to cleanse, and we're going to bust up that mucus, and to reduce the high blood pressure and all of that, you have more of the cayenne, the ginger, horseradish root, things that are hot to help cleanse the arteries and the blood vessels. If you go and you say, oh, well, I'm going to do a dry fast, I'm saying don't do a dry fast. Fast with water. Flush the toxins from your system. Don't just, think that, oh, I'm going to go without eating, because your body's going to move into cleanse mode. So you want to flush this stuff out of your system. And so our being in a place and space where people say, oh, well, I cannot afford, the food is too expensive. Food is too expensive. And I'm saying, but it's expensive to eat that which your body cannot utilize. It's expensive to have your wombs taken out and your breasts cut off. It's expensive to be on high blood pressure meds and all of these medications. And so we want to be in a place where you and I and we are getting stronger and stronger each and every day. We're clearing, cleansing, consecrating, purifying, renewing, rebirthing, regenerating, rejuvenating, and coming into a point and place where we're calling upon our ancients. We're literally DNA activating through the cellular liberation, because our gifts, our inheritance is already with us. And the nature of the bastardizing foods that we've been taught to love put us on a DNA lockdown, so that we are not literally pulling and activating that which is our own internal gifts. And so our coming to this place and space where we care to be liberated, we care to use this full moon right here, where we are right now, to regain our footing upon the path of light, to make commitments. And what you say behind I'm saying, I am completely committed to life. I am completely committed to love. I'm completely committed to my cells and myself. I give thanks that I am this point of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. I walk in the light of the truth of all that I am as this point of the presence of God. I commit my whole body, heart, mind, soul to life itself on behalf of the lineages through whom I've come. I am whole in myself, in my cells. I forgive myself and I forgive everyone. I walk in the light of the truth of who and all that I am as this point of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. I care to be in the integrity of the high ethic, the morality, the sensibility, the ability to respond correctly and directly to what is needed in our now moment. And to know that this is our time to rise, and I am rising. I am resurrecting. I am healing. I am whole. I am more today than ever before. We get what we ask for, we get what we claim, we get what we decree, but we cannot be a detriment to ourselves and survive it. The earth herself is quivering, shivering, shaking. You understand? The volcanoes are erupting, the waters are rising, the polar caps are melting. So we're in a very vulnerable position on the earth. And Mother Earth really don't need us. She doesn't need us. She is here, and we are here in the School of Earth Residency, in the progression of the University of Cosmic Wisdom, to come into our alignment and our harmonization with the laws of existence, with the intelligence of existence, and to walk the face of this earth as the evidence of the beneficence and the benevolence and being beloved of our absolute and supreme intelligence that has gifted us so much of itself. And we are here to create heaven on earth, as the earth is already in heaven, so that our children can be protected everywhere that they are, so that we as women and we as men know the beauty of what it is to be loved, what it is to be in loving relationships. We know how to utilize our gifts, our talents, our skills, and our abilities to be blessings everywhere that we show up. We are here to be the evidence of the queendoms and kingdoms of God emerging. So I thank you for this opportunity, Shanice.
We thank you too, Heraldess Adama. Dr. Mumbi had a question for you. Dr. Mumbi Tej, you want to go ahead and put your question to Heraldess Adama?
Thank you, Shanice, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hear you?
Yes, we hear you.
Thank you for having me on your program, Shanice. I'm grateful that I could listen because I was working. But I had just a comment during part of Dama's answer to, I think it was Oshun, asking about, what to consume. And it came upon us a few weeks ago with this H3O2 trending. And so me being a research scientist, I said, it never came up really in my graduate studies, but most scientific publications, research paper publications that I came upon were coming out of course, life sciences laboratories. So I just want to caution people to the trending. We have seen, some solicitation, but H3O2, we already have it in our bodies. Most of our cells, the water on the surface of the cells is that consistency. It's more viscous than just the fluid water, and in the cell it's called cytosol. In the cell, and then externally, that is the water.
You're going in and out. I'm not really hearing that part.
I said the last part that I said is the H3O2 can get.
You said it was already in our cells?
It's pilosol.
So it's the cytosol is the fluid within the cells. It has that. It's a more viscous water, if you will.
Okay.
So we have H3O2 in the body, and the fruit, the water that we eat in our fruit is H3O2. So I just want to caution people not to be pulled in by this trending to buy these expensive machines that make the water. I mean, you can, but you don't need to. You're already talking about how much you have to spend just to
right.
only contribution I had, aside from thanking you again, Shanice, for having the Heraldess on. And I look forward to others in your following to see this video and hear what she has to say, because just like Oshun said, it is life-changing if people will just commit to themselves, their life, and loving themselves. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very much, Dr. Mumby.
Thank you, Dr. Mumby. Wow, and thank you to Heraldess Adama. My only regret is I wasn't able to interact more because my end, I've had a lot of instability by my internet, but I know it didn't get in the way of your talk with our audience today and your sharing, and also Empress Oshun, you know, for co-hosting and, you know, for asking the questions and for also sharing your experiences. We thank you so, so much. I'll just go over to the points, questions, comments in the YouTube channel. Let me just see if there's are any questions or comments. So we've got a few. We've got Shabaka Ahmad Kalisa, who's saying, sure I pronounced it wrong, apologies. Azam, what a sermon of powerful heart express words you have given, Adama. What a sermon of powerful heart express words you have given to help us start to rid ourselves from the bad eating. Thank you. More alkaline foods and meals for me. Brilliant, brilliant. You know, as you were speaking, Heraldess Adama, I was kind of visualizing and seeing, you know, the light beams just rising up above. And as the light beams rose, I was seeing their lights coming off of them. And they were rising as they were leaving behind, you know, all of the flesh and toxic chemicals and foods that we tend to consume. And a lot of us enjoy consuming as well because it's seasoned up so nicely, you know. Right. So we enjoy that. But it's so true, you know, and we do know that our bodies ought to be alkaline. We know we shouldn't be eating, you know, the flesh of dead animals. But what you've brought, I think, to today's presentation and left us with is the realization that by not consuming the flesh and all of those toxic chemicals and produces, and by changing our diet, we're actually feeding ourselves at a cellular level and helping with our own rising. We're helping that spiritual side of us to rise, and then with that rising, we will then begin to acquire the intelligence, insight into the intelligence, because the intelligence is already there, we have it, but our lifestyle and our eating habits is blocking all of that. So, you know, I'm thinking now, if we want to rise and tap into that divine intelligence, then we know what we've got to do now, you know. And I suppose the more of us that rise together as well, the higher level of intelligence will come from us as a race of people. And so then we begin to understand why it's so important that others might want to oppress ourselves from rising. It's been a very interesting, insightful and enlightening presentation from you both today. I've learned a lot. Let me just have a look what others may be saying in the chat as well. I've got a comment here. Please, how will waking up to a GMO fruits or seedless fruits impact on ourselves? Yes, of course, because we might want to eat more fruit, but if we're eating GMO fruits and seedlings, what impact is that going to have?
Well, we don't really know.
Heraldess Adama.
Yeah, the issue is we're already genetically modified people. We need to Right? We're already genetically modified people. And so I'm saying to us that these people cannot create from anything that was not already in existence. They're not bringing anything new. They're modifying what's already there. All right. The seed may not be there, but the water and the intelligence is still there. We are intelligences of existence. We have the power to invoke the intelligence that is in it. We have the power to say to it. Why? Because the water is programmable. The water in the fruit is still programmable. The water that you bathe in your bathtub is still programmable. The water that you put into your glass is programmable. You can speak light and love and gratitude into anything and change the frequency of it. We have been taught to not understand the power that we have as the manifestation, the personification of deity. We have been taught to act as if a dumb people, a stupid people have more power than the intelligence of God. They don't. They've misused and abused their intelligence. All right. And so wherever you are, what you say goes. So if you keep saying to yourself, I cannot find seeded fruit, then you won't. If you keep saying to yourself, I can't stop this and I can't give up that, then you won't. But when you accept that you have the power of your word, you can speak life and bless everything. See, that was the whole point in saying a blessing over the food. It's just that you cannot really, you've never developed the kind of spiritual power to bless something that's dead and make it nutritional for you. You understand? You don't have that kind of power, but you can speak to the water that's in the fruit. and charge it. And so, you know, if you're going to say a thing, say, I invoke the light of supreme intelligence that is still in this to harmonize with the light intelligence that I am. Because even if you have access to fruit that doesn't have seed, right? It's going to be better than eating the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, all of the bread, the pancakes, the waffles, the vegan sausage, the soy, it's going to be better than that. It's going to give you something better than that. So I'm saying, you know, we really have to understand that the more we get into the light of the supreme intelligence that we each are, the more we take responsibility for replanting the seeds that we do have. We need to be cultivating our own foods. We need to be speaking life into our atmosphere, because what we find is that the intelligence that we each are, particularly if you are on your own property or you've been in your space for any number of years and you don't chemicalize your food, your land space, or your food begins to grow up. It looks like leaves, it looks like other things, but begin to plant your own fruit and vegetation. Begin to compost anything that's coming from the earth. Begin to take responsibility for cultivating what it is you're consuming. I don't know what happened to Oshun. Oh, it's 5 o'clock.
She did say that she would need to leave promptly at
Right.
the top of the hour. We are now
At the top
of the hour. Harold, honored to have you here to share with us your works and your lineage. We thank you so much. If there's one thing you want to leave with us, an image that you want to leave with us, as what the vision would look like for our rising, say over the next 12 months, if we were to adopt,
we would begin to,
you know, this path that you have, that image look like, please?
It looks like we as women begin to remember the divinity of ourselves. we stop going to the doctors and having all of these tests done and then taking these meds. We begin to eat much more fruit, deal with our herbal teas. You can call me on WhatsApp at 678-760-9299 to get life support. You can communicate with me directly with the Adama Speaks at Gmail. But what this looks like is that the revenue from the soda companies, the candy companies, the meat companies, the chicken companies, they begin to lose their revenues, and people who work for them are going to have an opportunity to apply themselves to their creator to figure out what else they can do other than work on behalf of the corporate deities of death. Everybody has to make some changes right now. Because if we do a boycott of the death industries, which is what my initiative for our global reality is, we boycott the death industries. We do not buy another piece of meat, dairy, egg, chicken, fish, flesh, flour. We're on fresh fruit, herbal teas, vegetation, and we're losing the extra weight. We're regaining our walk, our beauty. You understand? We are no longer supporting these Asians and all of the weaves and all of the nails and all of these things. Our hair is growing, our nails are growing, we're beautiful, our skin is glowing. We feel good about being the ones that we are, and we are creating one of the most dynamic movements upon the face of this earth in our full participation as the queendoms and kingdoms of God rising.
I am living for that reality.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's all say that. I
And
am
for
living
sure.
I'm living
for that
for
reality.
that reality. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Empress, Ambassador Oshun. We thank you so much as well for your contribution to the show today. It certainly has been a very enlightening one. Will we all be inspired now to change our diets and to elevate or resurrect that spiritual side of us as divine, intelligent beings?
Yes.
Yeah? You know what you need to do. Empress, there was so much for us to absorb in this session. I'm going to have to listen back to it so that I can just gain more fruits from what you had to say. And I hope that you will revisit us as well and follow up. Please do follow up on this works, because it's a new page, really, that I'm just kind of familiarizing myself with. And I love it. I like it. There's a real spiritual calmness about it. And I like that. Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone in the audience that's been following this evening. Your messages in the chat. Thank you so much. Please, watch the show back again. There was just so much gems in there. Thank you, beloveds. More love, more strength, more light, more elevation, more love. Sisters, out of here for now.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Would you repeat your telephone number?
The number, area code 678-760-9299, WhatsApp and within the States.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll put it in the description under the video.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye for now.